Hello and welcome to Kwaku Cocktail. Today I will make another great classic, an Italian classic. A classic that gives its name to a family of cocktails. The sparklings. Sparkling is a typically Italian family, and a sparkling consists of mixing a fruit juice. A natural fruit puree with a sparkling wine, which could be cava, champagne, or prosecco, though Italians usually prefer prosecco. At a high level, perhaps also champagne. Also, sparklings can be made without alcohol. You can use fruit and use a soda like a 7-Up, like a ginger ale, like a tonic, or other flavored soda. Additionally, you can also add a small amount of liquor to the sparkling drinks. A small amount of liquor to provide a little extra flavor. Sparkling is permitted as well. You may also add sugar, depending on the fruit variety or the ripeness of the fruit. Well, these are the sparkling drinks. The drink I am bringing you today is the Bellini. The Bellini belongs to the sparkling family. Right, Bellini. Where does the name Bellini come from? The Bellini was invented in a bar known as Harry's Bar in Venice. It has nothing to do with Harry's Bar in Paris. I will tell you the story while the glass is cooling down. There is a bartender working at the Hotel Europa in Venice whose name is Giuseppe Cipriani. Cipriani has a client, a guest at the hotel, an American woman who is a millionaire who is visiting with her nephew, named Harry Pickering, and one day his wife leaves with her lover, leaving the nephew with nothing. The nephew talks to Cipriani and says, "Giuseppe, could you lend me 10,000 lire so I can buy a ticket and return to the United States?" Giuseppe says, 10,000 lire is a lot. We are talking about 1928. 10,000 lire, not $10,000, but almost. It was a lot of money. Well, in the end, he trusted him and lent it to him. Not his power in years. After a few years, 3 years and a bit later, Harris shows up again at the Hotel Europa and says to him, "Giuseppe Cipriani, I am bringing you your 10,000 lire that you lent me and 30,000 more." And with that money, Giuseppe, having spotted a location, wanted to establish his own business. He had found a shop on Bagliareso Street. If you look at Venice, past the Grand Canal and the Doge's Palace, to the left, up a small incline and down a side street, there was a shop selling rope and leather goods. It was very small, about 60 square meters. In any case, Cipriani took it, did all the work, prepared the bar, transformed it, and gave it his own elegant touch. Very nicely done. And so, at that time, in the year 1948 in Venice, a biennial exhibition is set to take place, according to a magazine called Arte Veneta. They are planning to host an exhibition featuring the painter Bellini. Bellini was a renowned Italian Renaissance painter from Venice, who was commonly known as Giambellino. And regarding the tones of the clothing, he gave them some pinkish hues because he used slow-drying oil painting techniques to create the sfumato effects, a pictorial technique that was used extensively during the 1480s and 1580s. Well, in the Italian Renaissance, painters used sfumato quite often. Well then, on a day just like May 13th, 1931, Cipriani officially opens his bar. Curiously, the same day that today is said to be World Cocktail Day, because it is the day that appears in the famous newspaper, the Columbia Repository, that note defining what a cocktail is when they ask him, "If you go to the Lost Fashions video, I tell you the story there." Well then, he himself. Seeing the garments in the paintings, he says, "I like peaches, so I am going to invent a cocktail that has that specific tone, a bit pink, just like the painter." And then he invents the Bellini in his name. In Bellini, there are books that say it was invented in 45, but this exhibition was held in 49. The preposition came out, let's say, in 48. Then I would say the cocktail was invented in 48, in 1948. Right. Well, Cipriani lived until the year 80. He was born in 1908 and died in 1980. Okay, let us take a look. The Bellini. Today the thing is that to avoid mistakes in the videos, I used a blender. You are going to take the peach. There are two types of peach, usually the white-fleshed one they call, and the vineyard peach, the red peach. This one they do not use because it turns out very red and does not look pretty. I will use this one. I cut 1.5 peaches, and here is the fresh juice. You must extract the pulp, do not add any water, and do not use industrial juice. Interestingly, many people use bottled juice. No, not like that. It does not taste good. Okay? Now for the Bellini. The glass is cold. I will also tell you about another product. Bellini ratios. 1 part of pulp and 3 parts of Prosecco wine. What is Prosecco? I will talk briefly about Prosecco. Prosecco is a sparkling wine that is typical of northern Italy, usually from the Venice region, which is made using a method called the Charmat method. The Charmat method, also called cuve clos or large container method, it was originally invented by a Frenchman named Charmat, but the Italians adapted it to create a sparkling wine that is made in just 21 days. Much like cava requires 9 months for the yeast to age with the wine, and after we finish the whole process, we will discuss cava and champagne, which take at least 1 year. Prosecco takes 21 days. It is a carbonated wine, using this procedure called the Charmat method. Right, now here is the point. Cotto has 2 ingredients, pulp and Prosecco. Just the fruit and the wine. What should you pour first, the fruit or the sparkling wine? You must add the fruit, but if we add the fruit and then the wine, it will foam up and spill over. So the correct way, the truly correct way, is to do it in our mixer, mix it well, and then serve it. I feel like this has been lost. Prosecco bubbles. Right. Prosecco is a type of wine. And if you happen to not have any Prosecco, you can use champagne or even cava. That is correct. Let's open the Prosecco. It must be served very cold. And now we pour the Prosecco into the glass. We will add approximately 4 ounces Prosecco. There, a bit more. And now we add the fresh peach pulp. As you see, the foam is controlled. Add a bit more. I added 1 ounce, add half an ounce. I give it a stir. I will add a bit more pulp. That is fine. Now, I am going to mix it very delicately, so we do not lose that foam. Okay? Like that. Some today, add a small splash of peach liqueur. You are welcome to add it as it makes it delicious. But if the peach is perfectly ripe like this one, which is in season right now, no need. Needed. Well, once we have it nearly finished, we will add a little bit of dry sparkling wine, being very careful not to spill the bottle, in order to keep that foam. As you can see, the foam is rising. You must let it rest for a moment, and then we add a final touch, nothing more. There, nothing left to do. How to garnish. A peach slice. Take a peach slice, make a cut, and place it on the glass rim. Done? That's the slice. It is much less refreshing. It is very important that the Prosecco is chilled, the pulp is cold, and that the pulp is not prepared a day in advance. It is best if it is as fresh as possible. You should prepare small batches and use them as you go, because squeezing peaches takes almost no time at all. There are those who, when making a large quantity of pulp, tend to add a strawberry to make the color a little more pink. Is that correct? The Bellini gives that pink tone. Before serving, you can use it and stir a little. That would be fine. So you can pass it. Well, for this Cervellini, we are going to add a bit more up to the foam line, just like that. This Cervellini, note that the famous one made it, Cipriani. The Cipriani, another great bar. Famous artists used to go to this bar, Truman Capote, Scott Fiedler, and Hemingway, who never missed a thing. Also, they say he wrote a novel at the Cipriani bar. It could be true, a novel that also took place in Venice. Don't ask the title, it's in English and I can't translate it. The Bellini, Cipriani. If you go to Venice, visit the Cipriani, although they say they do not make them like that anymore, and they even charge $18. So I think so. Thanks a lot. See you next time.